Good morning. Here we are, doing the morning one today instead of the usual evening.
Yep. It's a sunny morning. Quite a bit to catch up on, actually. I wanted to start off by revisiting something that we covered in pod, I think 2 weeks ago, the Louvre break-in in France. And it got revealed this week that the security surveillance system, the password was Louvre, which I just thought was stunningly
Not even the Louvre.
No, just Louvre.
All uppercase?
Don't know how to... I mean, even if it had a couple of numbers and a unique character at the end of it, but no, it was just Louvre. God bless the French, love them.
Yeah, which that's right if you know how to spell it, but yeah, I presume someone knew it anyway, didn't they? As in, well, I don't know, maybe they stood there for
inside job.
Just guessing. Maybe they put like Mona Lisa, that didn't work.
Just 3 chances, and then that's wait half an hour for
paintings, jewellery. Oh well, they got there in the end. So
yeah, I just thought it was classic. These things always come out, and somebody will be saying, "Why?" There'll be an investigation if it was in this country, certainly, as to who agreed that should be the password.
Yeah, they'd probably find that the person who was actually in charge didn't know the password themselves anyway.
No,
didn't need to.
Yeah,
I remember a little while ago there was some sort of survey around password usage in this country, and bearing in mind, as we know, companies getting hacked and what have you, but even personal passwords, people were using password 123 and
yeah.
Oh, what else you got?
I think we've got to talk about the escapees from prison. Although there's a couple of things come to mind there. They're not really escapees, are they?
No.
If their doors are open and they're told to leave.
Yeah.
So I've sort of questioned: are they even on the run?
Because once they're on, I think they're unlawfully at large once they are.
Yeah, because the two this week. So there was the guy that was non-asylum seeker,
that we know
non-sex offender that we know about, who was just in and not taking anything away from his crimes, but it was only a fraud case.
Yeah,
and he got released and handed himself in the best way possible, because he went back to the prison rather than the nearest police station and had a cigarette outside before he went in to confess. And then the other asylum seeker, who was a sex offender, who escaped and was at large for, well, I shouldn't use the word escaped, he was released, and he was at large for a couple of days, and then the police caught him, or a member of the public spotted him. So what I was interested in is, in all the news reports, they say that these people are arrested. Yeah. Certainly the sex offender. And I just wonder what they're charged with. If you're released from prison.
I think it's that they are unlawfully at large, because they shouldn't be.
But the prison governor.
Yeah, or the court.
Or the court. Somebody has said, yeah, you can go. You're free to go.
Yeah. Did you see the video of the one handing himself back in the prison?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which just caused even more concern, I think, when he walks up to a prison officer who's outside, I think having a smoke themselves. Yeah. And kind of says, I'm here. And they always look at him and go, well.
They almost sent him on his way, didn't they?
Yeah. And obviously if he'd been in certain other prisons, then they probably would have done. But I do wonder, actually, whether there's going to be some prankster, auditor, whatever they call themselves, now, just for a laugh.
Trying to get back in.
Yeah, just turns up and claims to be, I've just realised I've been released unlawfully or wrongly, and can I come back in, please, and see what sort of consternation and chaos ensues.
Or maybe you don't have to be a prankster auditor, you could just be a homeless person.
Yes, good idea.
Just say, I've been out, been on the run for a few months.
Yeah.
No, bed for the night, it's cold. So I thought it was a bit weird. But anyway, so those two, I was relieved to hear on the news yesterday that those two both back behind bars. But then it came out in the news, I think today I saw it anyway, that there are 4 new releases that are being hunted. These are new early releases. So now I think that makes 7 in total. But the news went on to say it's something like 260 people a year are released in credit.
Yes, it's a slight worry. They're the ones that are publicised now. So again, you don't know how long they've been quietly being sought by prisons and police. It's a trend, isn't it? Because the first bloke was the sex offender and an asylum seeker from the hotel. Yeah, it was been going on for months, years, but because it was him, unfortunately, the most high profile person in Britain, probably. So now they're just latching on anything, and it'll all come out, and I can't see Calamity Lammy hanging around for long.
But in a way, if this is going on for years, it's not a new thing. So it's not really Lammy. I don't want to defend him, but it's not really. I guess he's been in power, or Labour have been in for over a year now, so they could have sorted this out. Should have sorted it out, but they haven't. So maybe that's why he falls on his sword. But,
he didn't help himself, did it? Deputy PMQs with not answering the question, although he'll probably say that, technically speaking, he's not an asylum seeker, but he got asked 5 times, didn't he? About, is there another one?
He didn't wear a poppy either.
No.
There's a lot of angst about people that aren't wearing poppies at the moment.
I forgot mine is still not to town, but...
particularly if you're a figure on the television. I think ITV and BBC must just have a basket full of poppies that they give to people when they arrive at the studios to make sure people are wearing them.
But there is one newsreader, isn't there, who's quite...
Yeah, Charlene Smith on ITV was one that I heard about that refuses to wear, or has refused to wear a poppy.
So, I mean, maybe that's why he'll get sacked in the end, Lammy, for not the poppy offence.
Possibly. I saw also, I don't know if it's a prank, but West Ham were given a directive to their youth teams that poppies shouldn't be worn on their shirts. I don't know if it was because it's not sort of sewn or stuck on. It was
I think that's pins. Pins can be dangerous if they fall out.
The pins wouldn't be ideal. Yeah. I think people get a bit emotional about poppies, and if you don't wear one, then you're deemed not to be supporting the people that have served, which isn't. I don't think that's strictly true. I think it just means it's on your other coat, or it's fallen off, or like you say, you forgot to wear it. So it doesn't mean you haven't put your 20p in the pot. Yeah,
I mean, they could just do like a sensible thing. An option is just during the period have a big. This is a serious suggestion. A big poppy displayed above the speaker or something, so it's like showing the whole house is in support. So it's an option, maybe.
Nice idea.
Maybe they do something, put a reef down. But yeah, Lammy and his answers, and I think
it's not convincing, is it?
It's not, and the fact that he said after the first one, I'll put robust systems in place, which clearly meant that, I don't know, maybe they write things in triplicate now rather than on the one bit of paper that they were using.
Is it caused by the Labour government's early release scheme? Is that what's making it worse, or was it happening before that initiative?
There's a combination. There's ones that are being released early on the early release scheme. There are ones that there's errors in the prison system where for some reason they think that they're due up. If they've got the same name or something, that can happen. And then there's the other one, which I think was with Billy Smith, where the court told them the wrong information, which ironically was, I think, based on the name given, that they were referring to a prisoner who was another, or defendant, convicted, whatever it is, who'd gone to another prison and was due to be released, but they say it's the same name and to a different prison, and he couldn't believe his luck. He must have thought.
So the other guy just thought he was going to be out for Christmas. He's just been told he's not out for another 4 years. Yeah,
it's Billy, isn't it? Yeah. The one that's hanged himself in.
No, the one, if it's a mix-up of names,
right?
Then
the other one
was thinking he's chalked off a number of months on the wall in his cell.
Yeah, but I think he is free now. He's going to get the happy news. Yeah, just a complete farce, isn't it?
And I saw that there's a retired prison governor on Sky this morning saying that it's still a paper and pen process, and he even thinks they still use fax machines, which might explain why it's not.
But that's how they communicate with the courts and that. Let's say maybe they have to write things in triplicate now rather than just the once, but the whole system is creaking and they can't put people inside, so there's not enough room, and then when they do, they get let out anyway.
Well, it's going to help with the overcrowding situation if they keep releasing these people. Over in the US, it wouldn't be a week without mentioning Trump. We've got a new New York mayor, the youngest for 200 years, a former rapper, and brilliantly, his wife is detested by... he's also Muslim, not that matters, but his wife is detested by Trump.
Why is that?
I think she's...
Did she say no when he tried it on or something?
Possibly, right. But I think she's one of these social media influencers, and she's been very critical of him through her channels. It's interesting. Trump. I don't really get it. I don't know if you followed. Trump said he's got 4 words for this.
Yeah.
And I was trying to work out I didn't see what they were.
His post was, I think it was in capital letters, obviously. And so it begins, which he posted as the bloke was giving his
What begins?
Presumably thinking he's either referring to the chaos of New York or the rhetoric by him, or I don't know. But yeah, because he told Trump to turn up the volume, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he says, I know you're watching, and I think as he was saying it, he put, that's a good question, what is maybe someone should ask him. He probably won't remember posting it, but, give him the option to reply or say it wasn't him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. So that's all on my list, but you've got a few things that are on your mind.
Yeah, share another story with you, which going to London yesterday, one of my rare trips, and sat there minding my own business, and a chap comes and sits next to me, which obviously absolutely fine, because I actually, just before we pulled into the station, we got on, I moved my rucksack, being a considerate commuter that I am, and put it on the floor as opposed to everyone else who just thought, well, yeah, if I pretend that I'm asleep or look the other way or whatever, and keep the seat occupied, and I was going to sit there, and human nature being what it is, no one likes to, if it's their favourite seat by the window, they'll sit in the empty one. So he sat down next to me, and I'll keep it brief, but his phone rang, and you can guess what happened next. And I may have mentioned before the fact that I detest people speaking on their loudspeaker. So I think he didn't realise, to be fair, because it was on loudspeaker, but he held it to his ear, which was amusing in itself. His English wasn't that great. He didn't have a good grasp of it. Fortunately, in a very rare case, bearing in mind I don't like loudspeakers, fortunately the doctor who was speaking the other end's English was fairly good. So the conversation went along the lines of, is that Mr. Whoever, how are you? I'm Doctor, I'm ringing you back. And this bloke tries to state he'd like an appointment in the next hour because he's on his way to London. He'd like an appointment. The doctor's trying to explain it, he can't. And then says, I'm just going to prescribe something for you. I'll just prescribe the cream for the rash. And you could see other people around the carriage and kind of get quite brought into this conversation. And this chap was saying, well, I want to come and see you. And the doctor's obviously very politely trying to say, look, you can't just rock up, you need an appointment. Or what pharmacy do you want me to send the cream to? How is the rash? Is it all over, or is it localised? And turns out it was all over. The chap who's next to me thought it was caused by insects. And the doctor was saying, how do you know this? And I couldn't quite understand the reply. But I just started itching at that stage. I don't know why. And then more people became interested in this rash, and he then offered, should he bring the one of the insects to see the doctor as well, which to the appointment that he wasn't going to have. And it ended really in confusion with the doctor saying he'd send the cream to the pharmacy that he thought was the best one, which clearly the bloke didn't know where that was. And I just wondered whether he did actually have the insect on him. Hopefully it's still on him. But yeah, he then realised that people were listening, and fumbled to his phone and realised it had been on loudspeaker the whole time. And I got off at that stage, and that was,
Oh, so we're not going to know, but whether it was an insect, where the rash...
Don't know. No, I did find myself trying to get a glance at his face and his hands and see if I could see any rash and his neck. I thought it'd probably be a bit too much to ask him to lift his shirt up so I could have a look, but it'd been a bit weird. No, so we don't know whether he had the insect, how good the rash was, whether he's ever going to get any treatment for it. But he seemed convinced that it was an insect or insects which he'd brought with him from another country, apparently.
The downside of using a speaker phone when you're having a private conversation about
a rash,
genital rash. I've had a couple of incidences on the train in the last couple of weeks of women fainting. I don't think it's just when I get on the train. I think it's related to the fact
undressing.
I think it's related to the fact it's relatively mild and people are wrapping up for the winter, and when they go on a train they get a bit hot. So a couple of women have fainted, but it reminded me that you see quite a lot of people wearing the badge, baby on board, and they need a seat. I saw somebody, it was a woman, it wasn't a pregnant woman. She had a badge on, a similar badge but a different colour, and it said that she may need a seat, and please, And I thought, I want to get one of those.
Yeah, should do.
Because you don't, obviously I'm not pregnant, but I just thought it's a bit of a mystery as to why,
You say she was pregnant?
No, she wasn't.
Okay.
It was a blue badge as opposed to a white baby on board. And it was just saying...
No sunflowers? No sunflowers in
no lanyard, no sunflowers. But it was something along the lines of, please offer me your seat, I may need a seat or something.
Oh, okay.
Which, she obviously had some
No, I was just going to tell the BBC line there, and I just asked her to clarify, because I think you used the term, she wasn't a pregnant woman, and obviously a pregnant person. As the BBC presenter.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think we need to toe the line.
What about Rachel's speech? Rachel from Accounts. She gave her speech on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because everyone's shitting themselves about the budget, which is in 2 weeks' time. But they didn't actually tell us anything.
No, I think it was possibly the biggest non-event since the world was going to end when the millennium started. If you remember that, there was massive.
I do remember it. The company I worked for at the time fell for it, and we had everything from our kettles to our calculators surveyed. Yeah. And the sticker was put on it to say it was millennium compliant.
Whatever that is. But
it was just people that were starting businesses, making money. It's the same as Michelle Mone and her PPE. You know, people just cashing in on the millennium bug.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, we all came into the office the next day.
And it was all right, was it?
Everything worked, even the kettle on the toaster.
Because I remember back then, some companies even flew people, didn't they, to Australia to see what happened over there.
Did they?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I hadn't heard that. I worked for an airline at the time, and we flew an empty aeroplane and reset the date in the onboard computers to the 1st of January.
It's not been seen
in flight, to see what happened, and nothing happened. So they reset the date back and landed, and that was a waste of probably 30 grand and loads of fuel.
That's both kind of reassuring and disappointing at the same time. But a bit like Rachel's speech, but without reassuring.
Back onto the subject of anticlimaxes, which I'm very familiar with. The speech told us nothing. Didn't reassure us. Probably got people more wound up. Yeah. Because now there's speculation there's going to be... And I do like this because I was very, as you may know, I was very close to looking at a electric car. Yes. And there's now rumours that the government are going to introduce a 3 pence per mile levy on petrol cars. I think I like to call it a charge. But... Yeah, it's a charge. Come on. And you're going to have to pay... You're going to have to pay £300 a year if you do 10,000 miles. And then it's reconciled up or down if you do any more. Oh. And even hybrid cars, there's going to be a charge. It's not as much, but there's going to be a charge. So all these smug bastards that have electric cars thinking that they're saving the planet, the government don't give a shit about saving the planet. They're going to charge you £3 a mile. No. But that didn't come out. Rachel didn't say that. That's just been leaked. Yeah, well, she didn't help herself, did she? I mean, taking up the airtime and then saying not a lot, but implying everything, and then just not answering questions about it. Yeah, I just didn't really understand why. At least answer questions or say, set the ground. This is what I'm going to probably be doing. Yeah, but yeah, just to beat around the bush. But it's unprecedented. Nobody's ever done a sort of pre-budget speech that says nothing or says anything. Nobody's done that before. Normally, you just have the budget and... Yeah, I don't actually wonder whether she's going to disclose anything in the budget, and maybe she'll just keep saying like, you'll find out at some stage. Or so when you get your paycheck, when you get your paycheck, or last month. Yeah, or you bill for an electric car or something. It'll just be maybe that's a better way of doing it. Yeah, it's just been denied all the way along. But we're all in it together, and we've all got to do our bit. But do they not realise? I mean, my own sort of philosophy is if my income tax goes up, then I just buy less. Yeah. You know, if I'm £100 a month worse off, that's £100 less I've got. So I'll just, I won't drink less at the pub because that'll be outrageous. But I'll just spend less money. So the economy will tank because people tighten their belts. Because they haven't got you adjust appropriately, don't you? And you go to Wetherspoons instead of the other pub, and you buy lower grade Coke than you'd normally get. It's Coca-Cola. Coke, obviously. Coca-Cola. Yeah, what's I going to say? Yeah, but we're all in it together, except if you're Lisa Nandy. So she's, Lisa, just the gift that keeps on giving, which is the Labour government, of whether it's prisoners, whether it's not saying anything about the budget. And now she's dropped herself in it with regards to appointing someone, allegedly, to the independent football body, watchdog, who clearly isn't that independent. She's quite well known that he's a donor to Keir and the Labour Party, and her. I think he gave her some money for something or other, so he's got a little bit more money to spare, obviously, than most people. And I presume the Labour Party are hoping that, even despite what they may or may not tax, which we'll find about at some stage, that he'll still have some money to fund them. But the clue's in the independent bit, and he's been appointed, and it wasn't kind of disclosed fully. Yeah.
But Keir has said, I think he's got to that point now, poor old Keir, where he just has to back everyone because he knows that if he starts sacking people, with the exception of Numpty the other week, the American ambassador, whose name I've already forgotten, Dr. Death, whatever his name was. Yeah, if he starts sacking people, he's got a bit of a problem. And it was compounded as well, wasn't it? Was it last week? Last Sunday, was it? That Labour had their deputy leader elections, not to be confused with deputy prime minister, and his kind of unfavoured person won, and now she's causing a problem. She's saying to the Chancellor, don't put taxes up. This is very un-Labour. So Keir's got a bit of a problem.
Yes.
I wonder if he'll stay in Brazil, because he's come back, his deputy leader's fucked up. So his deputy PM's fucked up. His deputy leader is telling the Chancellor what she should and shouldn't do. And no one's really got any faith. I'll shut up now about Lisa. Keir
does seem to be a bit of a disaster and probably one of the worst prime ministers we've had. And that's not whether you're a Labour or a Conservative. He just doesn't seem to be a very good prime minister. So we'll see if he lasts the full term. I don't think he'll be at the next election. I don't think he'll be in the hot seat, as it were.
I think while it's all kicking off, Nigel seems to his tactic now. Nigel Farage seems to be just sit back and watch them implode, because he doesn't seem to be very vocal this week.
No, you're right. He may be just taking his time, enjoying the show like the rest of us. Talking about tightening our belts when Rachel does her bit with the taxes, it's good to see that Mr. Musk probably won't need to tighten his belt.
No.
He's negotiated himself a pretty good bonus on the basis that Tesla and the SpaceX and all of his other companies perform. He's going to be a trillionaire.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether SpaceX comes into it, because he's got so many different companies, isn't he? But they're kind of saying that they had to give him this to focus his mind, and he's not doing his hatchet job in the White House anymore. But some interesting targets he's got to meet around to get it. It's kind of an incremental thing where he gets over 10 years, where he gets more and more shares if he meets each one. But I thought the most interesting one was that in 10 years' time, that Tesla have got to have sold 1 million AI robots.
Right.
And they haven't actually got any yet, haven't developed one, haven't sold one. So it's quite a big target.
It is a big target, and I think I personally wouldn't, there's no way I'd have a Musk device in my house, whether it's a robot or an Amazon style speaker or anything that lunatic controls, where you could listen into your everyday life. Just fills me with dread.
Do you think he sits there personally or will monitor them all himself?
No, probably not. But Amazon can do it with Alexa, can't they? There's been loads of times that you might have a conversation and then things pop up on your phone. Yeah,
but it's already worth, is it 300 and something billion?
Yeah.
So you just think, you get to that stage where it's just silly figures, isn't it? What's he going to spend it on?
But is it right? He doesn't. There was something about him a few years ago. He didn't own a house or something. He just sort of lived in rented apartments or moved around, and it was something strange. You'd think a man of his wealth would have lots of big houses, but there's something like that. But anyway, let's see how he does, because in a way, if he is focused on his business, then he's creating less havoc in Trump's government, because Trump is capable of doing that on his own.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they're friends again now or not. I think they are. So whatever he was blackmailed with has clearly worked.
Yeah. The new school curriculum is going to help us, particularly when Rachel delivers the budget. So children are going to be taught about things in life, such as having a mortgage and pensions. And
quick lesson.
Not that kids will be able to afford mortgages when they come to it.
No. I think it's about time if they're going to talk to them about APR rates and whatever. But yeah, as far as anything else goes, with all the time Rachel's in charge, I think it will be a fairly short lesson. A bit of theory, really, as to this is what a mortgage is, but don't worry, because you'll probably never have one.
Yeah, can't afford one.
Unless you're a donor to the Labour Party or Elon. And likewise, pension, should you live to 83, this is the sort of money you'll be looking at. Probably
our final point is Howard Phillips, 66-year-old spy, wannabe spy.
Yeah.
I think it's just the man we need.
My favourite story of the week, and actually it links back to, when we was talking about Keir, who's we didn't talk about his effigy, did we? Maybe we should have done that, but another time. We've seen the effigy on TV that they burn or have burned. So so this bloke. So what's his name again? Phillips. Howard.
The name's Phillips.
Yeah.
Howard Phillips.
Numpty Phillips. So maybe he was still, maybe could be. Oh, well, not now really. He's in prison. Sorry, what goes on in my mind, I'm just thinking maybe that's part of the plan, that they've sent him to prison knowing that he won't be there long, and then he can actually end up.
He'll just be released.
Yeah, he'll be released, and maybe he's the man to save Keir, because amongst his past, and just for those that aren't aware, he's just been sentenced to 7 years for offering to sell secrets to the Russians, which weren't actually Russians. I think it was Dave and Pete from MI5 who just put on some Russian accents and met him. But he happens to know, and I don't know why, I haven't got to the bottom of this really, he had been associated with, through, I think, duress circumstances, as in Grant Shapps thought he needed a hand up or a leg up, and but so Grant Shapps befriended him in some way, shape or form. So as a result, this bloke Howard knew Grant. I think that's still his name this week, because he's had several names, it transpires. But he was offering to sell Grant's home address and telephone number. He got caught, and obviously he was doing it for money. The judge says it wasn't the fact that he dislikes his country, but quite the opposite. Although he had also previously tried to work for the Chinese and the Iranians, offering information that he said might be useful to them. On the plus, it's a very long way of going around to why it might be useful for Keir, is that he's in the past offered his services to Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, and we should learn from that, because it didn't end up very well for either of them. So maybe third time lucky, if they had taken his advice, wouldn't have been so bad. So he's still available, Keir. And he's also offering to be the Arsenal manager and the England manager. Now, I'm not saying that Howard lives in a slightly different reality to the rest of us, but I tend to think he may do. But no harm done.
Is prison the right place for him? He sounds like he might need some help.
What are you thinking, the White House? He should be there, or?
Well, there's one lunatic in the White House already, maybe another one won't go miss. But yeah, I mean, he just sounds extremely eccentric, doesn't he? That he thinks he could.
I think he was pushing the barriers. He hit financial problems, according to his ex-wife, whatever. And I think he was looking at it creatively. So compared to some people, he's perfectly normal, probably. But say, slightly tongue-in-cheek, no harm done, as opposed to other people in the community that clearly shouldn't be, and this is taking a dark turn, isn't it? And go on trains and stab people.
Yeah, well, that's probably a good time to end proceedings.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Same time next week.
Ish.
Roughly.
That's us then for another week, and as we've said before, if we could be at all bothered, we'll do another one next week. But to avoid us doing all the work, you're really welcome to have your input. If you have a gripe that really grinds your gears, then please share it with us.
You can contact us via the website www.grumpy-pod.com or WhatsApp direct to us on 07873 207 206. We have a no woke agenda, so the slightest hint of woke or apologetic slant, your message will be filtered straight to the deleted folder. However, if your gripe is suitably amusing and needs our expert opinion, we will include it in the next pods. Thanks for listening, and hope you can join us again soon. Bye.